Well, you see that? Co-op. South Country Co-op. I'm just on the video. I'm just explaining something to them, guys. See that? Where is the fucking switch to turn it around? Where's the switch to turn it around? I guess we'll have to do this and hope you got a picture of my mug. Now, this is the co-op number that my mom and I used to use every time we'd get groceries. You see, Tom Craig was my mom's sister. And until he smacked my mom in my, well, actually my house, 1777 16th Avenue, we were on pretty good terms. But being the fact that I have seen so much stuff happen to my mom, I reacted maybe a little harsh. I grabbed him by the arms and I put his head through the roof. Or ceiling it was. Well, it wasn't through, but I basically scared that little man. And although he was good to me, and I really have no regrets, I guess I scared him too much that day. As for the number, that is the number that we use. That is the number that I keep using. That is the number that is tied to every blessings, fill up, and gas. And seeing that Dad owned the co-op, and it should be mine now, that is the number I choose to use. Then also, there is the issue of Bill Perry and when my mom worked for him. You see, Perry's and Agnes Cole, which is Agnes Craig, which is listed there is a connection. And the connection is to that house. And that house is 970 4th Street. Now, that house is the house I squatted in front of. And that is the house that the cops tried to get me away. And that is the house that is tied up with Dad's announcement the day of my birth in the Medicine Hat News. And all of these things are connected, as you will find out. Now, this message is to the credit union manager, who is now, I don't know. I don't know if he knows who I am, but he probably knows the story. The story that his boss or bosses were corrupted, and they stopped making payments on the property that the city eventually foreclosed on and took back and hid under a forged codicil that replaced my dad's will. Now, this forged codicil was written by William A. Anhorn, sorry. And he also was the lawyer that did not do his job when I was falsely accused of an armed robbery. But it did prove the fact that I was Harry Viner's son, seeing they did test that DNA. Now, the judge that was at that trial that threw out the will, now, that was Don McLean. Now, this was supposed to be when he was deliberating on my case. But you see, my case wasn't important. The only thing that was important that day was throwing out the will and the last wishes of my father. Now, this was only made possible because the credit union didn't make payments on a property that was minimal. A minimal cost. Owning the bank, owning all the stuff that Harry did, Dad did, was a crime because the only reason that they stopped making payments was so the city could steal. Yes, the city could steal, not have donated to like they would like you to believe. Now, Ted Grimm and Frank McConnell, acting as solicitor, was the person initially responsible. Now, there is also the fact that there's also the fact that the solicitor happened to be the married to the person that had the magic evidence that caused my workers' compensation claim to not fall through. But the real reason that my compensation didn't fall through is because I had threatened to sue mayors after my compensation came through. Now, they took that as a threat, seeing Wilf and Alice Mayer were the only other people that had any authority, and they only had authority for 3 months before I turned 18. Now, the fact after I turned 18 and that I did not know I was Harry Viner's son was an opportunity for all these people to get together to skew the law. Not represent the law, not uphold the law, but to minimize its effectiveness and cause the greatest crime that Canada had ever had. Now, whether or not Canada stays Canada, that's going to be up to you and me. Whether you like it or not, I have basically, or am in the process of, filing a $400 billion lawsuit. Now, this lawsuit will be leveled against anybody that tries to stand in my way of getting justice. Now, the bank, the manager, the people that wash your clothes, if they stand in my way, they are going to go very broke, very fast. Because when it gets leveled, everybody in my way will not be there no longer. Now, there's people that have tried to stop me. Most of them are not here no more. So, this is to two managers. First, the Alberta Treasury Branch manager, the one downtown, the one across from where the Greyhound used to be. I got an appointment with you I got an appointment with somebody at your bank, and I have some policies that I'm not sure if I agree with. Now, the reason you're involved is because you're going to get my first set of paperwork. Now, the other person that's going to get the set of paperwork is the credit union manager. I have phoned in there to make an appointment. I don't think I followed through with it, but at least now you know it's coming. Now, first off, there's $5,000 that Alice Mayer put in trust for me. It would have been November of 1980. 80 or 81. Anyways, you'll have to look it up. But that $5,000 was from my Aunt Helen, who collected a DVA pension for me that was set up probably by my dad, the way things worked out. But now this DVA pension of $256 I received and kept receiving when I went to Wilf and Alice Mayer's. Now, with the will that I'm sure the bank is aware of last will and testament of Harry Viner, written on my mom's birthday, December 9th, 1980. And it gave authority for my trustees to hold anything to do with me. And that's where they got their authority, because of me. Now, with the fact that my aunt was getting this DVA pension, there was a problem of who would be the trustee. So they had to have her sign over all monies, and they put it in trust so that she was guaranteed to be the executor or the person handling the affairs for a minor. That she lost her authority the day I turned 18, and it was the day I turned 18 that the people involved that should have notified me that I was Harry Viner's son decided that they were going to try to steal it. And that's how this whole thing got started. So what they did was they convinced, whether it was my sister or Senator Jack Austin, who is my actual brother-in-law that was married to my sister, or the bank manager with Pete Vanderham. All these people are intricate in the crime that was being committed. They are all part of the problem, and they will all be sued for $400 billion. Now, the problem we have now is it's time to come clean. First off, when you, the bank, stop making payments on Dad's loans when he had more than sufficient funds to cover it, you committed fraud. Now, whether or not you and every person that's still there gets fined, or not fined, sued for the $400 billion will be up to you. Now, what I want, first off, is I want the money that Alice put in trust for me. Knowing at the time when you stopped making payments, I was the heir. There is no question about that. So knowingly, you stopped making payments, you didn't notify me, whether you like it or not, you guys are responsible and you will be on the hook first. So what I want from you guys is I want an honest effort to straighten out your part of the mistake. And the first thing you will be doing is the $5,000 that was put in trust. I want that, and I want 40 years of interest. That is the first thing you can do for me, and after you get that done, we will see what happens next. As for you guys stopped making payments so that the city could foreclose on the property, because when they foreclosed on the property, they gained a few things. They went from being a lifetime interest in the parks, all the parks in Medicine Hat, all the parks and the gas and oil rights that you took from Dad. Now, you guys would have got it. The city would have had those. You guys would have been legally entitled to that if you would have notified me at the time when it was supposed to be done. But you didn't. You tried to hide it. You tried to conceal it. You tried to do whatever you could do not to look at the facts. So right now, here's the fact you better start looking at. That oil and gas rights and the last 40 years of revenue I want. Now, I can't legally take the rights, but I can give them to my daughter, who is a member, a treaty Indian. Now, actually would be her grandfather was reserved. Now, either you guys play ball with me and give me the things I want, and I might let you keep them. I might let you keep them. But if you guys don't play ball with me, I will make sure you guys never get another cent from those rights, and the 40 years that you've already got will have to be paid back. And I will put that in for the homeless. So thank you very much, and have a great day.